This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access, not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you take out a monthly commentary track where Ben and I decide we don't feel like playing something. So instead we just watch something and talk over it instead. And $2, because things are expensive out there, people. I understand. If you only want little of content, $2 gets you Praetorian Pals, a series where Ben Satternotes and myself sit around. We ostensibly pick the MSQ roulette in Final Fantasy XIV, but like sometimes we just play Final Fantasy XIV and talk, and say like the most insane shit you've ever heard in your entire life. So that's fun. It also gets you the entire back catalog of That's Hell You're Walking Into, which may or may not make return if I ever start Tsukihime sometime this year. It might also get you access to That's Rokenjima you're sailing on to. I don't know. Just sit tight. We'll see what happens. Anyways, all of that and more is available to you, dear listener, at patreon.com/thegorge. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So,
I can't. You almost said you're welcome. I am gonna call you out on that one.
I'm very sorry about that.
It's second nature. I know.
My customer service brain took over for a second.
Yeah, you're in front of a computer and you're talking to somebody else on a computer, so you're like, it's instantly like, thank you, you're welcome. I get it. I shouldn't call you out for it, but I had to.
So what have you been doing this week?
There's really only one thing I've been doing, and that's reading Umineko. A lot of So the last time we had a roundup, I think I was like, what I said it was a couple weeks ago. We had a roundup 2 weeks ago, right?
Three-ish at this point, because we took a break last week, and then we had Resident Evil and then a roundup before, so like 3 weeks or so. Okay,
so 3 weeks ago was when I last talked about Umineko, and I think I was still in chapter 1. I was still on episode 1 at that point, or I had just started episode 2, somewhere like that. I have now begun episode 4. So
you're out of how many?
Out of 8.
Okay, so you're cruising along. Yeah,
we're really cruising. Each chapter is insanely long. Everybody is right, but excuse me. But once Umineko, because like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that first chapter is kind of rough. That first episode is like, it's long and it's kind of boring, and like there's some cool stuff happening, but because like the main character, so Battler doesn't know what's going on, so you don't really know what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, so a lot of bad shit is happening, and you're just like, okay, I'm waiting for like the hook, right? I'm waiting for the big hook of Umineko, and I get to chapter 2. I get to episode 2. I wouldn't call them chapters; they're really more like episodes, because chapters implies a degree of shortness that is not here.
Right.
So I get to episode 2, and even still, it's just like, okay, you've really taken your sweet time to get to the point. And then finally, goddamn, we get to the point of Umineko, and I can't even in good conscience talk about it too much. There's going to be another episode. Ben might not be on it, but there's going to be another episode about Umineko where I finally talk to somebody about it. But you get to the point where Umineko becomes the Fate, Stay Night, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney pastiche that it was always intended to be. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I
remember when Saturn hosted the Umineko episode, mm-hmm. and they asked me, we're going to talk about Phoenix Wright in our mm-hmm. internet, you know, like, mm-hmm. okay, I mean, I guess they are both visual novels. That tracks, whatever.
No.
And then we were on a call, all of us, and you're talking about it, and you and Saturn and Oates, and to a degree, are deep in this conversation. Really deep, and your exact wording of it is, I have to prove that this locked room murder was not caused by a witch.
Yes, that's correct. That's Umineko. Umineko is, I suppose, a series of locked room murders, and the whole purpose is to prove that they were not done by a witch. That's about all I can say. And it rules. Like, it is so... I don't know. It is so... Once it's... Now that it's like fire... It's like firing on all cylinders, right? It's like really firing on all cylinders. And... I literally finished chapter 3 today. I took a day off from work because I haven't been feeling good. So I took a day off to rest and just kind of lay around in my bed and finish chapter 3 of Umineko. And I have never been more betrayed by a single piece of media in my entire life. I've never been angrier while reading anything. I got to the end of chapter 3 and I was like spitting mad. I had to like walk away from my computer and just go like sit out in the sun and just regain my cool Chad energies in order to like focus in the real world. Cause like I was so mad. I've never been more mad in my entire life. I know exactly what the fuck you at the end of this episode is gonna be. So yeah, no, it's stunning. I mean, like in my heart, I shouldn't be surprised. But I was really along for the ride, the whole ride. And now I'm just like, I'm so fucking stupid. I am so fucking stupid. And everybody in that goddamn Umineko thread in fucking Discord is laughing at me. Never mind that they all went through it too. And it's just like, I'm a fool. I am a fool. So that's the story of me playing Umineko, is that I'm a deeply stupid individual who should not be trusted to read a mystery novel. And yet here I am, reading a mystery novel. So, you know.
Well, there you go.
I like it a lot, obviously. I'm going to keep reading it. Mm-hmm. And it's impossible to talk about, obviously. I don't know if you've noticed me just, like, dancing around it. It's impossible to talk about. Because the vague notion that somebody else listening to this might go, oh, I want to read Umineko now. It's like, I can't say anything else now. I'm sorry. Like, I really... would like
when the three of you do your actual Umineko spoiler cast.
Yes.
I demand to be there.
Oh, you just want to be there to like listen and like hear it all out of context?
I just want to hear you guys ramble on and on about this crap. And I want to see when I'm editing the podcast, I want to see my audio line be almost completely flat, except for like maybe 15 total seconds of me having it something to chime in with.
You just want to be there for like the slow meltdown of our psyche, because like I know that Oates is pretty contemporaneous with me. I know she's finished episode 4 and started playing Berseria at my request. Excuse me. Started playing Berseria at my request now that she's made a decent chunk of the way through Umineko. The beautiful thing, honestly, the most powerful thing about reading Umineko is that when I'm finally done with this shit, everybody who asked me to read Umineko is fucked, right? Every single person who's like, you gotta read Umineko, I'm gonna be like, hey motherfucker, it's time to read Transformers.
Yeah, right? You have the ultimate. You basically have gotten free rides to the airport for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, it rules. It kicks ass. It's the fandom equivalent of helping somebody move.
Yeah, you helped the entire Discord move.
That's right.
Okay.
So now
you're good forever.
Now you have to read more than meets the eye. Sorry, motherfuckers. You're welcome, actually, because you know what? It's not the length of 2 War and Pieces stapled back to back. You know, it is relatively short. You can read all that shit in a week. Ask me how I know.
More Than Meets the Eye is not a visual novel, it's a graphic novel, and yes, there's a difference, and that's why English is stupid.
That's why English is stupid! And it's also just, like, significantly more digestible, because it's a graphic novel written in 2012 to 2016, and not a visual novel written in Japan in the mid-2000s, in which all of them were like that. They're all just like that. They're all that long because everybody had a whole lot to say, I guess. Ryukishio 7 is the most has a lot to say of them all. And I mean, I respect. The problem is they're right. Every single piece of horse shit in Umineko. There's so much stupid bullshit in Umineko, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all load bearing.
Yeah.
You can't take any of it out. You're like, God damn it.
The Umineko anime would be like 10 seasons long.
Yeah, it's insane. So apparently, there was a very bad Umineko anime that nobody should watch. And I kind of want to watch it whenever I'm done, just like see how bad it is, right? It's like watching the Fate Stay Night Dean anime.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of Umineko, the first 4 chapters, are like insanely long. And the very bad anime adaptation is all 4 chapters in 26 episodes.
Well, that doesn't seem like long enough at all.
No. Having now like gone through Umineko, it would have to get like a Legends of the Galactic Heroes length adaptation.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the only... Thank God all of Umineko is predominantly people just standing around and talking or screaming a lot. There's a lot of screaming and a lot of people being murdered, obviously. But so like, it would kind of be a cheap adaptation because it's a lot of people standing around and talking. But you
at that
would
point,
have
why
to
make it
adapt.
an anime?
Yeah, because I would say there are parts of Umineko that, like, the way Ryukishi 07 describes them, I can literally see the shot of it in the anime. Like, the way he describes it is so perfectly, like, I can just visualize it in my head. So, like, part of me is like, yes, I would like that anime, but no, you should just play the game. Play the game. Right. Because it has voice acting. It's all really good voice acting. It's, like, an extremely expensive voice cast. That I think is only for the PS3 version. So like the Steam version has it. But if you're listening to this and you want to play it, the trick is you buy the Steam version and then you download the 07th expansion mod. That turns all because the art for the Steam version is from the Pachinko art and is bad. It's real bad. Folks, it's extremely bad. So the mod changes all the art to the really good PS3 version art. Or you can use the original bad Ryukishi art, which is charming in its own way, but also quite bad. Mitten hands. But yeah, no. It's good. The thing is, it's really good. I read it and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling all kinds of different emotions right now. Okay. So, I highly recommend Umineko. I mean, like, I guess... It is extremely brutal. There were actually parts of, like, even though it is a visual novel, so, like, it's mostly description because, again, the terminology is weird. It's, like, mostly, like, descriptions. There isn't, like, a lot of, like, actual gore on screen. There's, like, the implication of gore, like a bloody hand just kind of coming in from, like, the bottom of the screen kind of stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of implication of gore, but like the description of it is extremely visceral and like at times like had my skin crawling. And so like I'll give that heads up. It can be a tough read. But everything I've read so far I enjoy, even all the dumb horse shit. There are a few parts where it was so stupid I really almost like turned the game off and was like, they lied to me. These fuckers lied to me. Yeah. You motherfuckers. But no, it's great. It's good.
No, because like I think I mentioned it's on the podcast before because when you first started it, but like I have absolutely zero intention of ever reading Umineko.
That's fine.
For one thing, visual novels aren't my bag in the first place. So like I have no intention of playing that anywhere. Also, I know my traumas. I know
that's right.
my mental state.
No, and it's correct. I would not ask you to read Umineko, but
I do so love the idea of just being a participant in you guys going insane. So
please do come join us.
I would love to be there and just occasionally going, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
There's a lot of discussion of things like Devil's Proofs and Hempel's Raven and the North Wind and the Sun, all kinds of stuff.
The sun and the moon are fighting.
Yeah, it's all, you know what? It's a good way to make yourself insane. So please come join us for that. You can be the moderator.
I will absolutely. And plus it also does lend to discussion really well when you hear me go, what the fuck are you guys talking about? One of you has to go, okay, so there's this thing called meh.
It's gonna be great. So please look forward to the 8.5 hour long episode about Umineko.
Yeah.
That is the spoiler episode. Saturn did an exemplary job of not spoiling anything for that episode. We are going to change that. So, and that's it.
that is all you've done. Okay.
That is basically all I've done, except for watch Bakano with everybody again, which has been fun.
It's always fun to watch Bakano. I've done quite a bit. I've only played a few games, but I did start reading some more comics and stuff.
Good.
But speaking of the Prohibition era, Melissa and I watched the Lackadaisy Cats pilot.
Oh yeah, is it good? I haven't watched it.
It's really fucking good.
Oh, I'm not surprised. But
I hope that it actually is a pilot.
Yes, and it gets an actual show.
Yeah, not like a one-off thing, and then we'll never see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what I feared Fox in Space is going to be for a very long time.
Oh shit! I never did get around to watching that. Sorry, Umineko happened. You know how it is.
That's all right. But no, it's very charming. The animation is obviously as good as you would expect something from Lackadaisy to be.
Mm-hmm.
Voice act kills it. Sungwon Cho is great in it.
Sungwon Cho is Mordecai, best boy.
Which is funny because I think he just kind of did he did some comic dubs for Mordecai, just as part of his YouTube channel, just like fan requests.
Sure.
And then just became the voice of Mordecai.
That's right. Good for him. Follow your dreams, folks.
Yeah. So no, it's absolutely phenomenal. It actually does cover like a very loose adaptation of the first few issues of the comic.
Oh, good.
Like it's a very loose adaptation, but it's definitely like, oh yeah, we're hitting the points here and there. Yeah, excellent music, excellent animation quality, fucking top of the line, and everything about it. I really, really, really hope there's more.
Yeah, I'm really hoping there's. I would love for there to be an actual animated Lackadaisy series.
Yeah,
even if it's just like a mini series.
Yeah, I mean, because it definitely deserves that. And hopefully, if they do put out another one, it won't take as long. That would be my hope, because this one was like a Fox in Space, also in production for like 5-6 years.
Yeah, it took a hot minute after that Kickstarter. I get it.
I know it's animating's hard. I get it. You have to track down people to do it for you and everything.
Especially during a pandemic. And it's like, oh, okay.
In lieu of production babies, they had production cats.
That makes sense. Yeah, that tracks.
So that was a cute little thing in the credits. What else did I do? I finally got around to beating Breath of the Wild.
Oh, nice. You only had like 30 minutes to go. We were literally talking to you while you did it.
Tears of the Kingdom trailer hit, and I was like, I should probably actually finish that game. And then I got in, and I'm like, okay, last time I tried this, I just kind of putzed around and didn't actually go fight Ganon. I gotta get to that castle and fight Ganon.
That's right.
And I did. I hit credits on Breath of the Wild. It took me about 2 hours.
It took no time at all. It was extremely funny. You were just like talking to us, suddenly it's like, I finished Breath of the Wild. It's like, oh, well, that was easy. Turns out it didn't take that long at all.
Because my fear was they're probably going to check for like cleared save data in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
You know? Like they're probably going to get like a cool thing out of it. And I'll be like, God damn it, I didn't finish it.
You would like to have a cool thing before you start. Yeah, I get that.
Which that's in the docket, by the way. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh, okay, good.
And then I also started playing Xenoverse 2 again.
You're never going to be free.
I never got to work on a PC because I had that whole big thing where the controller just didn't work. So I finally was like, all right, I'll pop the disc on my PS5, re-download it, and get back to where I was. I've hit the point in that game where I need to learn how to play the game.
Oh, you hit the wall. You hit Camelot.
I slammed into that wall where it's like, Oh, I can't just beam spam my way out of this one. I gotta learn some more mechanics in this. I gotta learn how to like dodge things and how to counter things and how to guard break and stuff. And
you gotta learn how to play video game, Chief.
I gotta learn how to not get my guard broken and all that shit. Because I'm over here. I'm in the Universe 6 tournament saga, getting my ass handed to me by fucking Kaba.
Oh no!
This twig-armed little stain of a Saiyan.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Like I'm not even like, I'm not getting my shit kicked in by like fucking Hit or anything. It's Kaba.
No, that's a shame.
So I'm like, all right, I gotta double down and I gotta like learn some new things.
You gotta learn how to play video games. It's Camelot all over again.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you thought, bitch. You
thought you could just spam your way through this. No, asshole. It's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll learn.
I will say, if Budokai Tenkaichi 4 has a creative character, it's fucking over for Xenoverse.
Oh yeah, no, Xenoverse is dead then, finally.
They've got to put out Xenoverse 3 or they're not going to keep up.
No, Xenoverse 2 is like 8 zillion years old, right?
Yeah.
Like, it needs to finally be retired and be replaced by something.
I know.
It's so old. I mean, I'm glad, I guess, that people are still playing it, but yeah.
And it's not even that it's like a game that's still popular. It's still actively getting content. It just got superhero stuff.
I know. It's crazy.
It just got Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and it got a Beast Mode Gohan in it.
Yeah, it's really funny to me. And I mean, like, you're playing it on PS5. Do you still see other people?
Oh, all over the place. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I log into an online server and there's people just scattered all over just doing all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome.
I don't really know how big because like it's hard to like get a match. It's not like 14 where like you can get a match in like early game stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go to a lobby and get, like, online co-op stuff for, like, some of the parallel quests and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But no, like, there's still people all over the hub world, all over the place.
That's nice. Well, yeah. I guess that makes sense. I mean, what other game will let you be friends with Goku?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's, like, the best thing in the world.
How else are you going to scratch that itch? It's so true.
Which apparently there's still one more character to announce for Xenoverse for the superhero pack.
Fuck did Xenoverse 2 come out?
2016.
That's insane.
I know.
That's insane. Oh my god, that's like completely crazy to me. That's 7 years of just like constant updates and like support and content. God damn.
And I was certain that Fighters was going to kill it.
No, because those are such different beasts, though. I get it.
Yeah, but
I played a lot of Xenoverse too, but I didn't play.
The studio would put their money towards the tournament fighter.
Yeah.
And not let,
I guess it's cheaper to develop for Xenoverse 2. That's like an imprint. I guess because like that's just like it's just one of the cheaper studios. I bet it's just easier to just put that shit out over and it just keeps printing money, right?
Which I mean also like Xenoverse got the last laugh because it also has Android 21 in it.
Hey.
But no, I'm thinking like who would be the last character for the superhero batch, cuz there aren't any. Like the only new, like, I mean, Piccolo, like Orange Piccolo is already confirmed. Like I think the Namekian characters can already get the orange power up. Oh,
that's nice. Finally. That's nice for the Namekian characters to finally be able to get that.
I think their only transformation was awakened potential from Guru.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Because humans got like an awakened form where they get Nimbus and Power Pole in their moveset. Saiyans obviously have Super Saiyan. Majins,
I know that Frieza race got they got golden mode.
Yeah, they get golden Frieza, and then I don't know what the Majins get. I think they just get like an awakened form, like kind of like a Kid Buu-esque transformation.
That makes sense.
And Namekians only had like potential awakened.
That's so funny.
So now they actually get to turn a different color. Good for them.
Yay!
But like Orange Piccolo was I think is already confirmed to be in it. Beast mode, actually Beast is available for every character, which is cool. Like it's not Saiyan exclusive; it's for everyone.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But, like, the Gammas are in it. The only character who is an active fighter that doesn't already exist in the game is Super Pan.
Do it. Do it!
And I don't know if how they would feel about us letting us beat up a 3-year-old.
But they should do it.
But, I mean, there's really no one else.
I don't know, dude. I think it would be extremely funny to add a 3-year-old, but
yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, by the way, speaking of superhero, because we watched that, rewatched that recently, which is what inspired me to play Xenoverse again.
Oh.
Is for my birthday, Melissa got us a projector,
and
we decided to break it in by watching a big flashy spectacle movie. So we played superhero.
Sure.
Fun fact about that: did you know that Android 21's real name is Vomi?
Vomi?
Yes.
Huh.
The Toriyama pun line for Jiro and Vomi and Android 21 is vomit. Because I think Garo is an onomatopoeia or something for the act of puking.
Oh.
And so his wife's name is Vomi.
Wow. Oh, somebody needs to stop Toriyama.
You know.
We gotta stop him. I'm sorry.
Listen, the fact that he managed to come up with Pan as a pun name, he is free pass to do whatever he wants with puns.
Yeah.
How did you thread that needle that hard? Like, it works for both her parents? Are you kidding me?
Oh, God. Oh, what else?
I read a bunch of comics and picked up a bunch of comics. So, I picked up the first 2 omnibuses for Immortal Hulk. I talked about this a while ago. Because I'm, like, thinking about, like, what do I consider, like, the ideal, like, modern run of certain characters? So I was like, Immortal Hulk is obviously the Hulk. So I'm like, you know what? I should probably pick up those volumes before they get really hard to find.
Right.
So I have the omnibuses are there on Amazon. They're cheap. Picked them up. Started rereading Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk is so fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't get over how fucking good Immortal Hulk is. Even if you don't know anything about Hulk, if you're interested in getting into comics at all, a huge recommendation for that one. Bring Hulk back to his horror roots. Add this amazing environmentalist aspect to it. Tie every Hulk-related character to or Gamma-related character to, like, this one unified source. Bring back, like, all the permutations of Hulk. Just phenomenal.
Just the full package.
Yeah, it's everything you would want as a Hulk fan, all in one amazing comic. I also pre-ordered the first volume of the of Ryan North's Fantastic Four, which is the new ongoing for Fantastic Four. That's probably the best ongoing comic right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love every issue of it.
What's going on in it?
It feels like such a slap in the face to Amazing Spider-Man, which I'll get into that later on because it's on the docket.
Oh, no!
But these are good vibes right now. So the new Fantastic Four is we talked about how Reed Richards cratered my porch, can't have shit in New York.
Correct.
So we found out what happened.
Okay.
So what happened is they're fighting a big thing, and they are getting their asses kicked.
Sure.
And it is do or die right now, and the city is in danger, and things are about to go real bad. So there's only one thing that Reed can do to protect the city block that they're fighting in. Which is he activates a device that teleports that entire city block 1 year in the future.
Oh, that's great!
So in just a blink of an eye, like it'll be instant for them. But it'll be a year before that block of the city reappears.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
Which they really go in depth at being like, yeah, everyone's safe, but there were kids in there waiting for their parents to get home from work.
Yeah.
There were parents who needed to go pick their kids up from daycare.
Yeah.
They teleported Ben and Alicia's kids.
Right.
A year in the future. They also teleported Reed and Sue's kids a year into the future.
Okay.
And so the reason they broke up, obviously, is because, what the fuck, Reed? How could you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then, a few issues later, Ben and Alicia are trapped in a thing that is forcing them to relive that day. Mm-hmm. And it's repeating, and it gets worse every loop.
Oh, great.
So, they're being controlled by an alien pod, and they're being forced to relive that day over and over again. So the conversation goes, and it's repeating, it's panel by panel. Alicia's you teleported our children 1 year in the future. You teleported our children 5 years in the future. You teleported them 100 years in the future.
Yeah, that's good.
And Ben's wait, no, this isn't how it happened.
Yeah, no, it's getting worse.
And he remembers that in the loop, it was Reed being his kind of usual scientific I did what I had to do thing for the sake of saving them. It was a sacrifice. I know some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Right.
But in the when Ben remembers the real version of it, it was Reed was just in a pile.
Right.
Of just despair that he had to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
It absolutely tore him apart to have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ben's yeah, there ain't no bad guy here.
Right.
So they're all back together, and now they're kind of, on the run a little bit. Mm-hmm. Especially because in the latest issue, there was they had an alternate dimension adventure.
As you do in comics.
Yep, and brought back a parasite from by accident. Which the parasite's whole thing is so. I want to make sure I explain this right because it's actually really fucking cool. The idea, how there's a super super rare medical condition where your heart is on the wrong side, other side of your chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They went to a dimension where it was exactly the same, except the DNA strand goes in the opposite direction.
Oh, okay.
So it's a mirrorverse, a standard, we went into the mirror and everything's evil, but it's down to a molecular level.
Neat.
It's reversed.
That's cool.
And so as Reed, what it means is when Reed explains it, the reason we're able to, in the real world, able to eat food and consume nutrients is because those genes and our genes go in the same direction.
Right.
So if you bring back a parasite that cannot be eaten,
right,
it has no predators, which means it can just grow.
I see. Okay.
So in order to kill it, they had to deprive it of its nutrients, which is the sun.
Oh.
Which means Sue had to block off the sun for a few days.
Oh, I'm sure it's
specific
fine.
Area of the country. And when they finish it, they did their job. They land back. There's Maria Hill of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hey, yeah, we didn't know you could do that. You need to come with us so that we can
we gotta have a conversation
about the fact that you can, if you really want to, turn off the sun.
Yeah. I think we have to have a conversation about that.
And then Sue is like, nah, we're gonna go.
Sayonara, assholes.
We gotta go. We ain't doing that.
I don't feel like having this conversation today, Maria Hill. Please, if that sounds at all interesting to you, might I suggest you listen to the most recent block of Big Gay Nerds playing Masks: A New Generation. I'm not going to say why, but maybe.
But all I can think of is the Justice League Unlimited, where there was that whole subplot about the Watchtower has a super death laser in space, and we're not really cool with that.
They
didn't tell the government that they had that. and probably should have.
Yeah, you actually, listen, you do know you have to register your firearms, right, Superman? And, like, that does, I suppose, count as a firearm. So you actually do have to register that with the United States government.
So, but right now, Ryan North's Fantastic Four is an incredible, delightful treat of a comic.
Okay.
Because every issue is we fell into a portal and have to fight something really weird looking.
Sure. We're doing like cool, weird sci-fi shit.
And I love it because that's exactly what I think they should be. It's the four of them being like, it's that clip for like, we're sinking into the center of the earth.
Yes, they should be doing fantastical things.
Yeah.
The four of them should be doing fantastic. I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's there in the name. You know,
it's so like sci-fi pulpy without feeling like pulp, you know? Like, it's still about, like, alternate dimensions and, like, reversing the polarity and stuff.
Sure.
But it's not, like trying to be, like, a 60s throwback, you know?
Right.
But no, I'm fucking... It's my favorite comic that's out right now. I'm also picking up the couple volumes of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. Which I talked about that like a couple years ago, I think. But it's like the polar opposite of Fantastic Four, where it's just this very grounded,
like street level stuff,
like street level, like very introspective Daredevil series, where the main focus is that he accidentally kills someone,
right,
and he's dealing with the fallout of that. And it's just like. It was one of those things where, like, I read it for a while, then kind of fell off of it because I lost track of it, and now I'm like, I need to get back to it because there's a bit where later on I know where Elektra takes over as Daredevil, and her costume is fucking sick.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it real quick because she looks so fucking cool. Here it is, right here.
Send it to me. Give me some spice. Give me the food. And then make it the title card.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool, actually. That's
it's
sick
so
shit.
Fucking cool. She's got, like, the scarf and, like, the big flowing thing. And
yeah, no, that's actually extremely cool. Fuck yeah. Good for her. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm also reading it with the intent of letting that springboard me into reading the new Punisher series, which I haven't really read a whole lot of. But it's essentially what happens if Punisher becomes the Shredder.
Oh, nice.
Because he takes over the Hand.
Okay.
Which is the evil ninja group that Daredevil fights.
Sure, okay.
Which, you know, you get it? The Hand and the Ninja Turtles fight the Foot.
Yeah, I get it.
And
Daredevil and the Ninja Turtles are technically a spinoff from Daredevil. Yeah, I got it.
And Daredevil's and, you know, the Ninja Turtles, their mentor is named Splinter, and Daredevil's is named Stick. You know, it's a thing that, you know,
it's a thing.
For some reason, DC owns Ninja Turtles, even though they like fit perfectly in Marvel. Like, they're based in New York. Isn't the whole shtick of the Ninja Turtles that, like, they were mutated by the same ooze that gave Matt Mercer his fucking powers? Well, the original continuity of it was, oh yeah, they felt like a blind kid nearly got hit by a car.
Yeah.
And he dropped his 4 pet turtles, and the chemicals splashed on them.
Yeah, it's really obvious what's going on there.
It was them being like, hey, you know, it's like Daredevil, you see?
They're being cute,
But like, Marvel dropped the ball and didn't buy up the rights to Ninja Turtles, and now it's a Warner Brothers thing. It's like, how could you blew it. You guys
now it's there in hell instead.
I know. No. And then I'm also picking up the volumes of Renew Your Vows, which is the Spider-Man spin-off comic.
Right.
Set in the universe where MJ has spider powers too.
Oh, good. Okay.
And they're married and have a kid, and it's great.
And it's happy and nothing bad ever happens. Nothing bad ever happens to Spider-Man.
Everything is okay in that one.
In that one, please look forward to the news section that I assume we're getting to now.
And also, even before all this, Renew Your Vows came out like in 2018-ish. It was always just like, everyone was like, this is a really fucking good comic. It's a great premise. I love it. This is like what we want to see.
Surprisingly, we don't want Peter Parker to just have a bad time all the time forever.
And yeah, so that's about it. A lot of comics going on. And I'm just like at the point where like I need to start buying these TPBs and omnibuses because I'm gonna lose my chance to get them. Because I've also been trying really hard to get the original Miss Marvel run. That shit's hard to find physical copies of.
Yeah, I'm realizing. It's like, speaking of physical copies, it's like I really should get on the ball of buying more of the omnibuses for IDW Phase 2. Because those are not getting made anymore. Yeah,
those are in act. Like I'm very glad that I did manage to get everything I wanted out of Phase 2.
Sure.
When I did, because I can't just get copies of More Than Meets the Eye anymore.
I have the first 2 like omnibuses of Phase 2, right? Like, so the stuff that weaves More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in the Skies, like weaves them in together, right? I've got the first 2 of those, and I was like, oh, okay. My like thought process at the time was, well, over the next like year or 2, I will buy the rest of them. It'll be like every month or 2, or every 2 or 3 months, maybe I'll buy one. And then IDW lost the license. It's like,
which I'm really surprised that obviously like you can lose publishing license, right?
Sure.
Like, you can't make any more. I am surprised that they just pulled the plug on. You can't even sell it anymore, you know? Yeah,
it's gonna be a nightmare to try and find the rest of those going forward. This is gonna suck. So, I
think they're still available digitally.
But I want them on my shelf because they're really pretty.
Like paperback covers and like the hardcovers are just like...
The hardcover ones are really pretty. They have really good cover art and stuff. Like, they're all very uniform looking, and I like them a lot. It's like, shit. Well, I'm gonna have to find a way to get those. Well,
somehow. if we ever make it to TF Con,
maybe I can scoop some up there.
Yeah, might have a chance to find them there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. It is nice, just like I said, like Immortal Hulk, Ryan North's Fantastic Four, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, and Renew Your Vows are like the idealized versions of these characters.
Sure. Right. Perfect.
And God, I really wish Chip Zdarsky would write more Spider-Man. I also have it on order. He wrote Life Story and Spider's Shadow, which are really, really good like mini series that he did.
Yeah.
I've talked about those before, but they're like really, really solid. And when Spider-Man shows up in Daredevil, like, oh my fucking God, it's so good.
Right.
Like every time he shows up, Daredevil's like, oh my God, this guy could tear us apart without even thinking about it. It wouldn't even be hard for him. He's the best of all of us, and he's like in my house, and he's kind of mad at me.
He's just kind of hanging out. It's like, fuck, okay.
Fuck. Like,
God damn it.
If he wanted to, he could break me in half.
He could just paste me, turn me into a smear on the floor. God.
He's pure power, and he doesn't even realize it. The best of all of us.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh, man, Chip, why can't you just write the ongoing?
No, because the ongoing has to be bad.
And but he's like, Chip's like, he's like, people have asked, like, why don't you write Amazing Spider-Man? And he's like, I don't want that pressure.
No.
Because I've seen how people react when it goes wrong, and it's like, no, man, no, you do it good, so we wouldn't be mad at you.
Unfortunately, the problem is Spider-Man is now cursed in universe and in the meta sense.
Like no, man, we wouldn't be mad at you. We want you to do it because we know you'll be good at it. So in Daredevil, there's this great bit where like he kind of DD kind of gets his own like Zenigata, which is just this cop that has this fucking stick up his ass about metahumans.
Okay.
And like, there's a bit where like, because he's like hounding Daredevil for whatever fucking reason because he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually Spider-Man like pulls him away and like on top of a building. He's like, dude, what the hell? Daredevil's trying to help and all you're doing is being a dickhead about it. and the cop is like, you superheroes think you're so much better than us. And Spider-Man goes, you know what? Yeah, I do. I can lift a bus over my head and I fight guys from outer space. I do kind of think I'm better than you.
Yes, actually.
Like, you know what? Fine. You want me to admit it? Yeah, I'm a step above everyone else on the planet.
Fuck you.
That's why you should probably stay out of our way.
That's so good.
But no, I'm done talking about comics until we get later in the news docket.
Sure, hit me.
So, first thing, behold the 20-foot tall Donkey Kong arcade game.
What?
There is a Guinness Book of World Records trying to set off the biggest functional arcade cabinet.
Okay.
So they are building a 20-foot tall working Donkey Kong arcade cabinet.
Great, fantastic. Sure, might as well.
So so here's the picture is hilarious, honestly. So I'm going to share this too with you. Because this is their digital mock-up of it. Come on, you load.
If it would load.
Hey, well, here's the article. It's fucking web.
It's cursed horse shit. Yeah. Oh, I see. Great.
So you see, it's got the giant thing with the giant joystick and buttons on that. In front of the little guy is a regular size.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
That you actually use to play the game.
Okay.
Which
I see.
I think is nice, obviously, because you want people to line up for it. What I would have liked is, all right, get on the step ladder.
Yeah, you
hold
have
the
to
joystick.
stand.
You press the button.
Yeah.
And then it takes like three people to actually play the game.
I think that would be way funnier to have like Donkey Kong be just like a collaborative effort where like one guy has to move Mario and the other guy has to jump. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be fun. But no, it's going to be opening in June 30th at the Strong National Museum of Play.
Okay.
Which is in... Where is that? New York.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Next, rumor. Persona 3 Remake and new Jet Set Radio game footage appears online.
Nah, that shit's fake. They didn't. That has yet to get what's the word? Copyright claimed. It's still on the internet. No, that shit's fake. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I refuse to let myself get excited. No.
The footage of Yukari shooting the bow is very clearly her Dancing Moonlight model. And apparently the bow comes from a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Oh, so probably like SMT4 or something like that.
It's not a Persona. It's not a weapon she has in Persona. It's a SMT model.
Yeah, no, I'm calling that shit's fake. And
the fact that the creator of Jet Set Radio has not fucking gone bananas on Twitter about this is obviously a good sign that it's either fake or
they also showed off like a version of Sonic Frontiers with better graphics and finger quotes. That shit's fake. No, yeah. I'm sorry. As cool as I think it would be, because they should remake P3. Yeah. Like they really should.
Either this is just the generous approach you can take is that this is leaked footage, but it's test footage and there's nothing in production right now.
Right.
Like they might have made a mock-up of like some stuff
for a sizzle reel. Yeah.
And on like a proof of concept kind of thing, but there's nothing that indicates that any of these things are in development. No,
I'm sorry. Like maybe if we get some shit during like Summer of Gaming, and I think they should remake Jet Set Radio and P3, because those are two games that desperately like could do for him, especially P3. That game is extremely rough in retrospect.
Yeah.
Not writing wise, but just like playing it. It's like, oh, it's very obviously the first attempt at this format of the series. So it can be kind of rough.
I think it deserves like a remake treatment, and it deserves to let both campaigns
have money.
Have money be a full-fledged game.
Instead of one just being kind of like a janky visual novel with like a dungeon grinding element to it. Yeah.
Next, Stranger Things is getting its own Saturday morning cartoon.
Okay.
Produced by Flying Bark Studio.
Oh, okay. I see. And we both immediately just like look up from like taking a nap, like, all right.
I'll pay attention.
Fine. What do you want? Yes, I'm listening. Fine. Yes, Flying Bark Studio of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fame. So, you know.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Turtles, also Monkey Kid. And they're no stranger to doing like big things like this, because they also did the What If show for Marvel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Then fine, I'm paying attention. Good for them.
They are saying the Duffer Brothers are saying they want this to be in the vein of a Saturday morning cartoon like you would see in the late 80s.
Sure. So like Monster of the Week shit, hopefully.
If this means... So the ideal would be you animate it like it's G.I. Joe or Transformers.
Correct.
I want to see a character's colors invert for one scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see you know that amazing GIF of the dinosaurs charging through the Cobra base?
Yeah.
And like things just kind of disappear and reappear. Like tables will vanish.
Yeah.
And then reappear to get knocked over. I want to see like, a monster come from the upside down and it just kind of like fade, like the hole in the wall fades away for one frame.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
That would be the ideal way to do that.
Yeah, I would like to see a trailer for this. Thank you very much.
That's it. It's just, they've announced it and they said it's going to be a Stranger Things cartoon.
Interesting.
No idea what that
what that means.
Set in or what it's going to be about, but
what that entails.
Yeah. So we'll see. And Flying Bark will either make it look really, really good, and it'll be at least something in its favor.
That's true.
Here's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom's final epic gameplay trailer before release.
Yay! They rehydrated my man.
They overinflated
They
him.
Overinflate. I just really need to point out that Square really thought they had something by trying to put out a Final Fantasy 16 gameplay on the same day as Zelda.
This is the second time this specific continuity has stolen another game's lunch.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna keep happening because like they also stole Horizons.
Yeah.
But like I'm just really like, for one, I am increasingly sour on FS16. Frankly, the more they show of that game, the more I'm like, this looks kind of boring.
It's really getting to fucking Deathloop levels of like, I get it.
You need to stop showing me this game because I'm not impressed.
I kind of agree with you actually, like because like the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm going, oh, that's what it's gonna look like. Okay.
Yeah, the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm like, this is just The Witcher with like a Devil May Cry battle system stapled onto it.
The gameplay does look sick every time they show it, for sure. But it's like, I think back with the more I see 16, and we'll get to Tears of the Kingdom in a second, but this is important because the 16 trailer isn't on the docket. I didn't even think to include it.
That's fine. We'll do it right now.
The more I see of 16, the more I think that even though Stranger Paradise looked like a PS3 game that with a scratch disc.
That's correct.
It left more character visually.
Yeah.
than 16 does.
Yeah, no. Like, Stranger in Paradise is the ugliest video game I've ever seen in my entire life. However, being extremely ugly is an aesthetic choice.
The simple fact that that Jed wears sneakers.
Yes.
And he's standing alongside like a princess in like a fucking Renaissance fair costume.
Uh-huh.
Gives it more of an identity than Final Fantasy 16.
It has it has like a for real visual identity that's like distinguishable. You can look at it and go, wow, that's definitely Stranger in Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
FF16 is just so brown. Looks like Game of Thrones. It's trying to be Game of Thrones. Which is just a shame.
16 looks like it looks like the Heavensward trailer.
It does, but like
with
none of the weird freak shit that's in Heavensward that makes it good.
Yeah, but it looks like Heavensward, the Heavensward trailer, without all of the cool weird shit that's in Heavensward.
Yeah, like I was watching. I didn't even watch the full gameplay thing because it's like a 30-minute gameplay demo or whatever. But I was watching like some of the clips from it, and they just show that one shot of Clive like walking into town. I was like, I've seen this exact same shit in The Witcher 3. Like, it just looks like The Witcher 3 with the Devil May Cry battle system stapled onto it. It's like, oh no. Oh no.
Like, yeah, it's a return to form for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 1 had robots in a space station.
Yeah, no Final Fantasy has ever literally no Final Fantasy ever has ever just been like a fantasy game. Yeah. Like, it's always been kind of weird. Like, even going back, like you said, to FF1 has robots in a space station on all of the series defining classics. The other, like, I guess Final Fantasy IV is what they're trying to evoke, I suppose, because 4 is probably the most like normal fantasy game in the series, because it's definitely not 6. 6 has got fucking robots and shit and steampunk horse shit all over the place, right? And then like every game after that has such a like distinct visual identity. Even 9, which is another like return to form fantasy game, is like so visually distinct that it could only be FF9. Right? Whereas 16 just looks like a fantasy game. Yeah. You know? It's like, oh no, I see. And so the point of all of this shit talking is that Square Enix tried to bring the smoke and failed miserably and got utterly clowned on by Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is very funny.
Because who gives a shit about anything else? Ganondorf is a samurai.
And like Zelda is like a colorful, bright, extremely energetic trailer, and it just looks so good. And they brought back our boy. They extremely rehydrated him. They probably need to let a little bit of water out of that tire.
They need to like poke him with a pin a little bit to kind of like deflate.
No, it's fine. You play the bongos on him. It's good. But yeah, no, that game looks great. That game looks extremely interesting and different and fun. I sure wish they would take Zelda out of the sad white dress. This is the second game where she appears to just be spending the majority of her time standing on a cliffside praying in a sad girl white dress. It's like, oh, okay, I see.
Like, come on, please. Hopefully, what the trailer kind of implies to me, what they're doing is that they might be doing a Princess Peach in the Paper Mario games thing. Which is every so often the game will go, let's check in on Peach. And you do like a little like stealth thing with Peach where you wander around the castle she's being held in. And like you gotta poke around and sneak out of your room. And like find out information to pass back on to Mario.
Yeah, I really hope there's like playable Zelda sequences, right? Because like, man, they sure made it seem that way when they first announced this game 5 years ago. 4 years ago, excuse me, not 5 years ago. But still, like, they sure made it seem that way. So I really, really hope they do that a little bit, please.
Hey, by the way, everyone, just in case, I'm going to be a little bit salty about something here. But do Tears of the Kingdom has been in development for as long as Kingdom Hearts 3 has. So if you're going to joke about Kingdom Hearts 3 having a long dev cycle, you have to joke about Tears of the Kingdom having one too.
I see. Wow, it really has been a really long time. The problem is that like the gap of time between Kingdom Hearts 3's announcement and Kingdom Hearts 3's release and Tears of the Kingdom's announcement and Tears of the Kingdom's release, the world didn't end during Kingdom Hearts 3's development.
Fine. but still, shut up.
Okay. You can be salty about it. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm on your side, but like from like emotionally, I'm like, yeah, Ben, get him. But logistically, I'm kind of like tugging on your sleeve, like, bro, the world ended while they were making Tears of the Kingdom. He's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, look, they had to change engines in making Kingdom Hearts 3, so like that also counts as a global reset.
I see. Okay. Hey, don't strain anything while making that reach, buddy.
And fucking Tears of the Kingdom's in the same goddamn engine that Breath of the Wild was, so, fucking shut up.
I will say, it is definitely like, oh boy, the world ended super hard for a few years there, huh? Because, like, the whole purpose, at least to me, the whole purpose of Tears of the Kingdom being the way it is, was that they were supposed to Majora's Mask it, right?
Right.
Majora's Mask came out 18 months after Ocarina of Time, because they're like, we've got all these fucking assets, why don't we just make something out of them?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, so I thought we were gonna, Majora's Mask / New Vegas it, where we've got all this shit, let's just make a little bit of extra new shit, and put the new game out, right?
Let's take these Legos and put them together in a new way,
right? And ride kind of ride that hype to like huge sales, and then COVID happened,
and then they're like, well, we might as well just make it into a full-ass fucking next Zelda installation.
We might as well just make it a real big video game. We got all this time now. So, oops. It looks great, though. I'm okay.
It does look great. They showed off, though, it's cool, like, you can recruit people now.
Yeah.
Like, it showed you actually fighting alongside Sidon.
Yeah, I'm really... Like, can we just call them into battle? I think that would be very cool. Just steal from Hi-Fi Rush. I know that this game has been in development at the same time as Hi-Fi Rush, but it's on my brain, right?
They showed off... so we knew about, like, the mechanics, like, fusing things together and whatnot. One of the things Link builds is a robot.
Yeah!
Pilots a mech suit.
That's right, baby!
That looks really cool. We also have confirmation that, like, for real, like, it is Link's arm gets fucked up by evil. Mm-hmm. It's not like a prosthetic or anything like that. Like, it's just a regular arm.
Just an evil arm.
He just gets it all evil.
And there's new characters to see, and I'm just really excited for Tears of the Kingdom, folks. I literally texted I don't own a Switch because I don't play enough Switch games to justify owning one. But I did text my brother, and I was like, listen, I need you to ask one of the kids to let me borrow their Switch. I know they're children and I shouldn't be stealing a video game console from them. However, they don't play them that much and I need to play Zelda. He's like, fine, I'll ask one of the kids. And so I think literally one of my very gracious 9-year-old niece is going to let me borrow her Nintendo Switch for like 2 weeks. Perfect. I'm like, thank you, baby.
No, it looks great.
They have 3 of them. They
don't need that. They don't need that. They can.
Yeah, I'm not stealing candy from a baby. They literally have 2 Switch OLEDs and a Switch Lite. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. The trailer, like, again, there's other things I want to point out about the trailer that looks really cool. Hyrule Castle's floating.
Hyrule Castle is floating. That's correct.
Some people on Twitter are making the joke.
Doxed Zelda and Ganondorf.
They did that, yeah. They fucking found their locations. Like, oh yeah, it is fucking like those people who just like play like Google Map games.
Yeah, like GeoGuessr, and they can just immediately spot where somebody is just by like a single picture. Yeah, it rules.
Also, someone pointed out that they scrubbed all the floors in Hyrule Castle.
Ganondorf showed up and was like, no. Absolutely the fuck not. We're cleaning this place up.
Then we can talk about, once you've scrubbed all the floors in Hyrule, then we can talk about Mercy. Now take him away.
Extremely funny. Matt Mercer is for sure playing Ganondorf.
Yeah, he finally confirmed it.
Very funny to me that they at least have one real voice actor in Tears of the Kingdom. Zelda's, God love her. Zelda's voice actor, even in that trailer, she's still just like, oh, honey. The thing is that we discovered while talking about this just amongst ourselves as a friend group the other night, Saturday Notes and Ben and myself, we were talking about it and we're like, why do they all sound like that though? Right? Mm-hmm. So we looked it up. And the reason they all sound like that, though, is because they're all Americans doing English accents. Yeah. It's like, oh no, they tried to Realm Reborn it.
And Zelda specifically is like a stage actress or like a television actress. So like she's not have voice direction.
She's a stage actress from Michigan.
It always, every time, it's like, oh, this person sounds kind of dull and like not really into it. It's like, oh, they're used to being in front of a camera. That's correct.
Why. It's like, oh no, you really did her dirty.
Everyone, it's a different set of skills. They are not transferable.
You literally, that's literally why Matt Mercer is like, I can do Ganondorf, no problem. It's because that's his fucking job.
You can't just hire any theater or film actor and put them into a recording booth. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Different.
It's completely different. Sorry, guys. So, as much as I love Matt Mercer, I've heard that game in other languages. I might like Tool. I'm like kind of tempted to I know French okay-ishly. Mm-hmm. I'm like tempted to put it in French just so I can also like refresh myself as I play it. Right?
Like if I ever get around to like playing like Age of Calamity. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put that shit in Japanese because, like, I'm not gonna. It was okay in Breath of the Wild because, like, they didn't actually talk a whole lot. It was a big special event. Mm-hmm. I'm not playing no Muso game where everyone's talking all the time with those voice actors.
No, sir. All right.
Speaking of voice actors, no, this doesn't work. Sorry.
No.
Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League delayed to February 2nd, 2024. I think they might be trying to fix it.
That is now long enough because the initial delay was only 6 months, right? Mm. It was supposed to come out like around this time, and they pushed it back to like August or something like that.
Yeah, I think around that time. Yeah,
like August or September, something like that. And now they've pushed it all the way back to February. So now I do kind of suspect they're trying to unfuck it, at least to some degree. Mm-hmm. Will they succeed? Probably not. I think too many of the things that are in that game are like you would have to just take out whole parts of the game, right? So it's like, but they might unfuck it a little bit. I could see them maybe removing the dog shit like inventory system. That would be probably your best thing you could do, right?
I think the best you can hope for is ripping out all of the loot crap.
Yeah.
And just making it more of a straight up action game.
Yeah, like a beat 'em up with like some base character progression stuff.
Making it more like Arkham and just giving everyone a skill tree instead.
Yeah,
which is what you should have been doing in the first place.
Yeah, that's honestly your best bet to make that work is because like the Destiny numbers and shit, it just looks so drab and boring and not interesting at all. So, this is a much better option. So I hope that's what they're going for. That would at the very least solve one of the major problems.
Yeah, it would solve to me the biggest problem.
Sure.
Of this game, which is yank out, go back to the thing that you were good at when trying to make this. Like the thing that everyone really liked about the Arkham games, just make more of that.
Make that again. Yeah. So.
They can't be changing too much about the plot because
Kevin Conroy.
They can't.
They literally cannot. You can't exactly call Kevin Conroy in for reshoots.
They can't. And what are they going to do? Like redub all his lines? They advertise the game as Kevin Conroy's last big Batman outing.
They're not going to do that. So no, I think it's still kind of fundamentally fucked, but like as a plot concept. But we'll see.
Yeah. Next, Sony files patent application for temperature changing PS5 controller.
I I mean, that could just be something as simple as like the case changes control, like those T-shirts that used to change color, right? Or like a mood ring. I love the idea of a mood ring PS5 controller. I think it's funny.
Not only that, quote from the article, as for the temperature aspect, one example included in the filing is mixing a sealed gas bubble in advance to the elastic member. The circuit section in the controller would then have a temperature control apparatus like a Peltier element. This would in turn control the gas volume in the bubble and change the shape of the elastic member. So
I understand everything.
Also the idea that the heat might change the controller's shape.
That's weird.
I don't like that.
No, I'm not a fan of that.
I don't know. Like, I've never played a game. Like, I for a while, I didn't really get, like, the appeal of Rumble. I thought Rumble was a kind of a neat thing. But I never felt like, oh, this, like, really brings me into the environment. It was a nice, like, haptic feedback thing to have, like, something's happening. You know, until the DualSense was like, hey, you can feel raindrops.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I was like, my controller is possessed by a ghost. I've never, ever in the history of my 33 years of playing video games, ever thought, you know what this game would make this game better? If my controller was warm.
Yeah, no. The thing about a hot controller is that it's a fundamentally unpleasant thing to hold.
It's like a warm toilet seat.
You don't want to sit on that. No. Like, you want the cold side of the pillow, right? Like, you don't want your controller to come pre-warmed. I don't care how cold of an environment you live in. I don't care if you're if you're like on the Antarctic research station. You still want your PlayStation controller to be cold. And it's just because it's like, I don't know, when it gets warm, you can feel it. Like, listen, folks, come closer. Listen to me. Your controller is one of the nastiest things in your house.
It's
because
very
your
gross.
hands are some of the nastiest things on your body, right? Because that's how you interface with the world, which is inherently covered in germs, right?
Folks, every so often, just get a Clorox wipe and just wipe your remotes down, or wipe your controllers down, wipe your phone case down.
Wipe your phone down.
Remember to do that. You bring that thing in the toilet, the bathroom all the time.
It's covered in poo particles. Wipe your phone off.
Get a wipe out. Get a Clorox wipe. And just clean that shit off.
The point is, your controller is an extremely nasty thing, and the heat activates the nasty particles, right? It makes them crawl around more. Yeah. I know that's not very scientific, but I did read that in a paper somewhere. No, I will not cite my source. The warm make the controller gross. You know, it make it grosser. It's like, oh no, now all the germs are awake and crawling around. No, I want my controller to be cold. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is not a useful idea.
No, thank you.
Here's a quote from the article. The filing notes that typical game controllers are usually use plastic materials that are hard to bend or deform. Yeah, that's never been a problem.
Yeah, I never had a problem like holding a controller and going, you know what I wish this thing did more? I wish it was squishier. No.
I've held a third-party N64 controller that had like a soft rubbery like grips on the handles. Didn't like it.
Not a fan.
Not one bit.
Not a fan.
No.
I suppose it is useful in that sometimes I get very mad at a video game and I try to twist my controller in half, right?
Yeah.
So it might be good that like it has a little bit of give.
But I think the DualSense is pretty chunky.
It's extremely. The thing is that the active word in the sentence I have tried to twist my controller half is tried. I have not succeeded in twisting my controller in half.
Now I'm sure you could probably twist a PS3 controller in half.
Oh, you breathe on a PS3 controller and it snaps in half. Yeah, especially the first one they put out, the thing, the 6-axis.
Yeah,
I think it's made out of paper.
That's not necessary. But like, I've never held a PS5 controller and been like, yeah, this needs to be hotter.
This needs to be rubbery and hot. No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I really want this thing to kind of feel like a dildo. That's what this is.
That's exactly what my PlayStation 5 controller is missing. The sensation of holding a dick in my hands.
You ever see those phone cases that are designed to look like human flesh?
Yeah.
That's what I want in my controller.
That exact same visceral reaction of yeah. No, thank you. I'm good.
I want my controller to be possessed by the T virus.
just kind of start like crawling around your house like the Thing in Addams Family.
if my controller could have the potential of biting me, that'd be great.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Then I have another weapon in my home. Great idea.
PS5 controller made by David Cronenberg.
Oh no, now it really is sprouting a dick. Oh god.
It's all over.
It's all sticky. Oh man. This sucks.
I don't want to play a game and be like, is it my hands that are sweating or is it the controller?
Ew. Fun.
We're moving on.
I hate this conversation. Yeah, we gotta move on.
Super Mario Brothers Ground theme becomes first video game song added to National Recording Registry.
Yay!
That makes sense.
I saw that. That's cute.
That's a logical first pick.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with like the Super Mario song. So yeah.
Quote from the article: Mario's classic tune will be inducted along heavy hitters such as Madonna's Like a Virgin, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, Queen Latifah's All Hail the Queen, and Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh, what a wonderful assortment of music.
I like when you get a list of things that have something in common like that. And it's like, oh yeah, all these things are prestigious enough to get into this category of like in the Library of Congress.
That's right. What does Margaritaville, All I Want for Christmas Is You, and the Mario song have in common? One day, I always tell people this, one day you are going to be on a game show. And they're going to ask you that question. And you're going to know the answer. And you will owe me some of your prize money. Yeah.
The Gorge is educational.
That's correct. Patreon.com/thegorge.
Yeah. No, this is obvious. Like, of course it's this one. Like, what else? What other song would you pick as the first one?
Yeah, that's
to be in there. Next, arrogant American McGee asks fans to respect his decision to move on after EA killed a third Alice game.
Poor American McGee.
I'm sorry.
It sucks.
I put this on here because of his quote. Quote, "We are not giving up any more than a person hit by a bus is giving up."
Yeah, because as far as I can understand, as far as what I understand from the story, is that they actually pitched a third Alice game. They they had concept art, they had ideas. There was a vertical slice, maybe.
He opened a Patreon for funding for the third Alice game. Okay,
so he tried.
Yeah.
And then basically EA, being EA, as in a dragon sitting on its hoard, not only won't greenlight a third Alice game, but also won't sell him the rights to the third Alice game.
Yeah.
So, because their statement was something along the lines of, no, the Alice series is too important to the EA library. They say, not making another one.
Yeah, not doing anything with it.
No, yeah. So they're just they literally are just a dragon sitting on their hoard, refusing to give up the next game. So, EA, that's a shame.
EA, you took our only license. Now we're gonna starve.
While covered in licenses.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, it sucks ass. What a fucking train wreck industry.
This really, and it's gotta really suck for American McGee. Not only because, EA slammed the door on him, but it really does just have to get fucking annoying.
Right.
To have to put up with fans who, don't get it.
Yeah, who are why won't you make a third Alice game? And it's bro, I tried. Trust me.
Telling them not to give up, and it's there's literally nothing he can do.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do at this point. after a certain point, you just have to give up and accept it. You know what I mean?
Like
I get it.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
there's no more avenues to explore to get it.
It sucks.
They're not.
After a certain point, you just got to give up and just be like, I'm not going to keep putting myself through like this ringer of like basically begging EA to let me make another one, right? So I'm just going to give up and move on to another project, right? Because like at that point, you've done your due diligence. You've done more than enough of your due diligence, right? Yeah. Like you shouldn't even had to have gone through the steps of like doing a Patreon and stuff to try and fund it, like, you know. But instead, like, they still were making some attempt, right? Mm-hmm. That's like, man, no. At this point, they're more than welcome to just move on.
Yeah. Did you ever play any of the LS games?
No, I have not, actually. They're not really my thing. They're just like they're like a third person kind of like action platformer. Yeah. With like kind of, you know, with obviously a darker theme and all that good stuff. I heard they're good.
Yeah.
But like they never really like made my neurons fire.
Yeah,
I was never an Alice in Wonderland kid.
Right, but like when I was in like late middle school, early high school, and like going through my Hot Topic phase, like the art always appealed to me, but I never had a computer that could run the games.
Sure,
so, like, I never got to actually play them. But like the art and like the designs always appealed to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the art is good. I think, you know, the concepts and all that stuff is good. I'm not like knocking the Alice series. Right. It's not really for me. Mm-hmm. But I know like a lot of people do like it, and it's a shame that they can't get a third one because like, you know, that's a series that it deserves to exist for its fan base because it's an interesting game series and it's like doing neat things. It's like, but like EA is EA.
I was happy to learn that it got a second one after a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. RPG pulled from Steam over theft allegations, asks fans to torrent it instead.
What?
So there is an RPG that was on Steam called Dark and Darker. This is a hell of an article. I'm going to try to sum it up, but I'm probably just going to be quoting a lot of it.
Okay.
Quote, it all started back in March when police raided the Korean developer's office due to accusations from publisher Nexon that the studio founded by ex-employees stole assets and staff from the company for Darker and Darker, and that the game heavily resembled a working project underneath the publisher with the working title P3.
Okay, I see. So this is just like literal, like
literal theft.
This isn't just Wii U. This isn't that fucking game that Mandalore talked about. The that bad adventure game that's name is totally escaping me right now. Whatever. But like, you know, it's not a case of like plagiarized stuff,
right? Which
is bad, mind you. But like, that's different. Like plagiarism is just we stole some shit off of Google Images to be our backgrounds and stuff, right? This is literal corporate espionage where we left the company and took our files with us and are now beating you to the market with the shit that's yours. Like that's different. That's very funny.
Quote, shortly after Dark and Darker was pulled from PC gaming platform Steam, and there was a short-lived GoFundMe campaign from the developers to raise money for the project.
No.
Now without a storefront to work with, it looks like the team has turned to torrents to distribute the game for playtesting.
That's so funny.
So,
well, I admire their chutzpah.
Their business strategy is to stand outside of GameStop and to hand
out their mixtape.
Yeah, hand out burned CDs with the name Dark and Darker written in Sharpie on it.
Yeah, sure.
And say, give me $10 and you can, I'll give you this game.
Sure. I think it's funny. Sure, why not? Might as well. I think that's very funny.
So just the next part of the article. In a post on the official Dark and Darker Discord, reposted in the game's subreddit, the team lays out instructions for those interested in participating in the Fantasy RPG's latest alpha test to download the client through torrents. While the studio is based in Korea, Iron Mace is unable to reservice the playtest in the country in compliance with its gaming rating regulations, since the alpha playtest is being distributed through unofficial channels. Which, So when you and I don't know, and I never really thought about this, so I might be wrong about this, but I'm assuming when you have a game in open beta or like an alpha test, right, and it's through Steam, you have Steam collect that data, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go to Steam, like the devs can look at the data through the lens of Steam, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like why you would do an alpha test or an open beta like on that platform, is because they collect the data for you in one centralized location.
Sure.
How do you do that if you're torrenting the game? How do you get this feedback?
I guess you just send them an email of like everything that went wrong with the game.
Like, do they want you to like play test it? Like, do
they just show up at your house? Like, do you give them your address and they're like, excuse us, we would like to ask you questions about our video game. Like,
they're like, hey man, can you set up like a screen capture and just like film yourself like playing it, and then we'll watch that footage?
Yeah, who knows?
Have you ever? Okay, this is kind of a weird poll. Have you ever had to do a project or something for school or like a personal project that involved other people, that required them to do more effort than it was worth for them? For like, but you would get the benefits for it. Like here, man, I'll like, when I was very young, this is kind of embarrassing. When I was very young, I wanted to do a sprite comic, obviously.
Sure.
And I was like, I know what I'll do is, I don't know anything about web editing or anything like that. But I'll make the sprite comic. And here's the plan that I can propose is, I'll email the comics to this other webcomic author, and they can host them on their site. And they can do all the work to get them on the website, and I'll just make the comic.
Yeah, no, bro.
And it's like, yeah, no, that's not how that works.
That's not even remotely how that works. Yeah.
Which, when you're 12, you're like,
you don't think about that.
You're like, no, my comic will be so good, they'll be dying to get it on their site.
Course.
They'll be more than happy to host it.
Yeah, but the difference between you and the dark and darker guys is that you were 12.
Yeah.
These are, I assume, adults.
Yeah.
Who are like, no, just torrent our game and then just like, I guess, send us an email about how well it went. I guess. I don't know. Extremely funny. Total clusterfuck.
So, okay, one more quote, though. Rest assured that we are working around the clock to safeguard the continuance of Dark and Darker, the post reads. Unfortunately, due to the complexity of our situation, we stole the complexity of the situation that we stole from our former bosses, yes. Especially across international lines, it is taking some time to resolve the Steam situation. Steam won't let us on because we stole from our parent company. Correct. In order for us to keep our promise to our fans, we've had to go old school this time. That's not what old school means. But I kind of admire it too. It's like old-fashioned freeware, right? Like, the way that, like, Doom used to work, you would get the first episode for free, and then if you liked it, you would get the rest of it. It definitely does have the energy of, I know a guy in high school who really likes anime and can get me these subs on DVDs that he just passes out to people. That's right, and you just all you gotta do is bring him the blank DVDs, and he'll give you the first 6 seasons of Naruto. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Like, it has those vibes. I kind of respect it, right? It's so funny that I kind of loop back around to thinking that it's kind of cool. So you shouldn't be arrested for crimes that are objectively funny. That's absolutely it's the truth. 100%. And this is indeed extremely, they have made it funny with the degree of their ineptitude, and now I have looped around to rooting for them. So yeah, I hope you guys make it. It's an Ed Nettie tier scam, is what we're looking at here. Absolutely. Eddie would 100% come up with this. Next, it's time for me to get really salty. All right, Ben, hit me with the Spider-Man bad news. Marvel told Amazing Spider-Man writer to avoid conventions over issue 26. Fans will be very mad at me. Okay, first off, you shouldn't physically assault or threaten people because they write a bad comic. Correct. That's obvious, you know?
No, that's clear. Yeah.
However,
second of all,
you know, it's like, I'm not racist, but yeah, you shouldn't threaten people or harass people physically, but maybe don't promote your comic by saying we're going to make everyone really mad at us for this one.
It's literally the same as like, you know, like hate clicks, right? Like people like these days, like there's a whole cottage industry of just writing the worst takes you've ever seen in your entire life. So somebody will click on your article to scream at you in the comments. It's that, but for a comic series.
It's this, but for a thing that I have to pay $4.99 to get.
Exactly. Instead of just doing it for free and then then some advertiser pays them, right? Like you are actually paying them to make you mad.
Yeah. So guess what? You know how I talked about how Fantastic Four, like, what did Reed do? And it turned out to be this really like intense situation.
Yeah.
But like by the end of it, they had resolved, like they're still trapped and they have to wait for that year to expire. But like the team is back together and they have resolved their conflict over it because they've realized that, like, even though Reed did a very horrible thing, it was their only option, and like he feels disgusting about it. We finally found out what Spider-Man did.
Oh no!
And it turns out nothing, because he hasn't had any actual agency for about 10 issues.
Great.
Okay, so like it's like a big evil like Aztec god that was in like 2 issues that Wells wrote back in like 2016 or something.
God.
Like he's just bringing back his character that literally no one fucking remembers, because why would they? He was in like 2 issues.
So you're talking about like the Final Fantasy 14 writer thing, but like even worse.
Yeah.
You know how everything is still about the Crystal Tower?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But like worse. Like even worse.
Which way worse, because at least the Crystal Tower, you had agency in that.
That's correct.
And it had like a really cool thing, and like it was worked really well in Shadowbringers, because Shadowbringers was really well written.
Now what if that but like bad?
What if that but like bad? So like the big evil god transports them to a post-apocalyptic New York, and Paul is there, and they make a device to go back to the regular New York, and Spider-Man tries to send MJ back first, but because he's not allowed to have agency in his own comic book, MJ forces him to go back instead.
I see.
So now she's trapped in the future with Paul, and there's a time dilation thing going on. So like, you know, every second that passes in the regular world is like a day in the post-apocalypse world.
Sure.
Like, fucking who gives a shit? It's not clear what the time dilation is. Just that
the writers saw Interstellar. Yeah, I know.
So when he gets back, they send the destroyed body of the god with him, and it blows up a city in Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Right. So what did Spider-Man do? Nothing.
This
wasn't his fault.
Yeah, he didn't do anything, as it turns out. It's not his fault.
He doesn't have any agency on this, so like he actually has nothing to be blamed for, because it wasn't his actions that did it. So he's like, I gotta go save MJ. I gotta go get help from science people. So he runs over. He ditches his costume in Pennsylvania for whatever reason. Because like, oh, they saw me. I can't see that Spider-Man was here. Fucking who cares? That's stupid. So he gets back to New York, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the Fantastic Four, and they're like, and Johnny and Ben are there, and they're like, oh hey man, like yeah, we'll get Reed in a second. And he goes, no, there's no time, and he runs away. And then Captain America catches up to him, and he's like, hey, we found you. We have footage of you like in a crater in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And the FBI wants to talk to you.
Yeah, we would like to have a conversation with you about the explosion that you were apparently at ground zero for.
And instead of Peter going, hey, Cap, we're friends. You know who I am. My girlfriend's in danger. Literally every fucking second counts right now because there's a time dilation thing going on. I need to get to Tony Stark and Hank Pym right now. And Cap, being a guy who has fought along Spider-Man for years and years and years at this point, when they have fought and bled with each other, would go, all right, the FBI can fucking wait. Instead of that happening,
Sure.
Spider-Man goes, no, there's no time! And he punches Cap in the face and runs away.
I'm enjoying this because I don't read Spider-Man. I like how stupid it is. It's very funny. It's perfect comedy.
And so he's like, no one will help me, even though they would have helped him if he had taken 3 seconds to say, Mary Jane's life is in danger.
That's correct.
That's all you had to say.
That's all you gotta do.
Because these guys trust you.
Yeah, they're your friends and they will help you, Pete.
If he had just said that, but instead he's like, no one will help me. There's only one man who can help me now. It's gotta be Norman Osborn.
Oh no.
Because in one of the earlier stories, Norman Osborn got shot with a forgiveness gun. I'm not lying. That's what happened.
Hey, Ben, buddy. Hey, Ben. Ben,
hey.
my friend. My good friend. My buddy. My best friend. Bestie. Why you still read this?
I'm not. I have not been reading Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
I have not been reading it besides doing research so that I could talk clearly about what's happening.
Sure.
For this story arc, because I'm always like, now I don't want to just go off hearsay, right?
Right.
Like if I think something is bad, I'm going to make sure that my facts are straight.
Correct.
Before
somebody can't come back and tell you you're wrong.
Or I also don't want to be like, I'm exaggerating something that someone exaggerated to me.
Sure.
And I'm making it worse, right?
Right.
No, I want to make sure this is something that's important to me. I want to make sure I have a full understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I have not touched Amazing Spider-Man since the end of Nick Spencer's run, which was 2 years ago. So yeah, but no, in Spencer's run, which is one of the, because Spencer's run started off really great and then it got really bad.
Sure.
Norman Osborn was shot with the Sin Eater's shotgun.
Sure. Why not?
The Sin Eater is a character from the 90s and he doesn't matter because he's from the 90s. So he's really stupid as a concept.
I love Shadowbringers.
So the Sin Eater, the shotgun, purged the evil from Norman Osborn's body. And now he's a good guy. Because he got shot with the forgiveness gun.
I see, okay.
Remember the scene in More Than Meets the Eye, where they're on the derelict Lost Light.
Yeah.
And it's Megatron and Ravage, and they're locked in a room. And Megatron's like, I know this is bad, but we just need to be patient while everyone works out what's going to happen here. And Ravage attacks him.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And he's like, what's wrong with you? Are you under duress? Are you being held prisoner?
Have you been brainwashed?
Yeah. He asks, is it shadow play?
Right.
And Megatron says, no, it's not shadow play, and I'm sorry if that disappoints you.
Yeah.
And how good that was, where it's no, Megatron's like, no, I'm doing this of my own free will. I'm trying to fix what I have broken after millennia of war. How he didn't just get shot with an Autobot gun?
That turns you into an Autobot gun?
You know.
Yeah.
How a good writer would do it?
That's correct. Well, we can't all be James Roberts. God, how I wish we could, but
Or, I don't know, maybe another Spider-Man character who recently became a good guy. Doc Ock. When he took over Peter's body and got his memories and was like, holy fuck, what have I been doing?
I should be a good guy instead of making this poor asshole's life harder.
like, oh my god, I get it now because I have seen what he has done all his life.
Right.
I see. I'm going to make the conscious decision. You know,
you're going to actively decide to do good, which is much more poignant than just getting shot with the become a good guy now gun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's who Peter goes to for help.
Sure.
The guy who killed his girlfriend.
Sure.
And it's like,
but he got shot with a forgiveness gun, so it's all good. Don't worry about it, Ben.
It's totally fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it, Ben. Why are you holding grudges? Move on.
So, oh, and by the way, the thing that happened in issue 30-26 that like we were going to be freaked out about is that MJ met Paul and had kids, which we knew because that was in the first issue of this run.
Marvel writers and cuck fetishry. Name a more iconic duo. You just can't.
That's not a twist. We've hated this since the first issue of your run.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
I don't know. I'm sorry, buddy. You live in hell. I'm sorry.
Renew Your Vows is really good.
You should just read Renew Your Vows and make your life a lot happier and easier.
Life Story is good. Ultimate Spider-Man is really good. If you want like a really good, like long ongoing, just read Ultimate Spider-Man. It is super solid.
Sure. Don't read this shit though.
I wish I could anti-buy. I keep.
You want to just show up at Marvel headquarters and be like, give me back my money.
Like if I'm like, okay, I'm already not buying Amazing Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. If I buy everything but Amazing Spider-Man, does that count as negative sales?
I don't know if that's how that works.
If I can
assume it does.
If I can raise everyone else's numbers up, so that the gap is wider,
they'll realize how bad Amazing Spider-Man is and fix it, maybe?
Which I say, but like, ASM is doing really well on sales right now.
I'm sorry.
Because of hate buying.
That's correct.
Just fucking don't read it. Just don't buy it.
They can't. I'm sorry. Everybody needs to know.
And also...
It's the same thing as if you call this number, Jason Todd will die or won't die. Who knows? It's one of those.
But it's like, for one, don't hate buy. But the other thing is, it's Spider-Man. It's gonna sell gangbusters no matter what it does. Because people are just gonna pick up Spider-Man.
Because it's Spider-Man. People love Spider-Man. Yeah, I know.
But...
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. You live in hell.
The only people so I didn't like Spider-Man Beyond. But if you were a Ben Reilly fan, you probably fucking loved it. Sure. Right? Because it was all about Ben Reilly.
Yeah.
I can get that. I can get behind that. The only people I have seen saying this new run is good are people who are being obvious contrarians. Like people who are fucking like
they think they're being cute.
Snyderverse level of delusional about you just don't get it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
of course.
No, I get it. It ain't
no,
making
bro,
me
I
laugh,
assure you I get it. I got the joke, man. Yeah. It sucks. It's a bad joke.
So no, I'm done being salty about it.
Well, I'm did you get it all out of your system?
I did. They're probably gonna kill MJ or something, but who
fucking cares? Of course. Don't listen, Ben. Remember the mantra. Remember the mantra. It don't matter. None of this matters.
Let's talk about something really cool.
Let's talk about something good for a while.
2 decades later, Pokemon's iconic art can finally be seen in its full glory.
This is really cool. I have mixed feelings about it, but that's mostly because, not out of some sort of, insane purism. I just liked the old washed out colors look. Mm-hmm. I thought it was, a stylistic choice, and I thought it was very pretty.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very, simple. It was very kind of simplified color palettes and stuff like that. I liked it,
Yeah, there is something that is appealing about, the very, very bright, washed out, highlighting,
Yeah, it just looked, I don't know. It just kind of had such a unique quality to it, and to learn that it's a result of a bad scan is okay.
When you look at, because there's a good screenshot of Ditto especially. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ditto one is night and day.
Yeah, right? Isolated, the original Ditto was oh yeah, this looks like it kind of looks like who did the original Final Fantasy artwork? Who was that?
Yoshitaka Amano?
Yeah, Amano. Like how like Amano artwork is also like really washed out and like very abstract and representative, not like an actual design of the character.
Sure.
They had that kind of element to them. Mm-hmm. And then, no, it turns out they were just scanned poorly.
They were just really bad scans. Yeah. And like, I do enjoy seeing these new scans, because they're gorgeous for one, but two, you do get like the intense joy of just getting to see like all of the little imperfections, because these are massive, like high quality scans of the original designs, right? They're great. And so you get to just see like all the little imperfections that were in like a professional artist, like, you know, Sugimoto's art, where like you can see the where a pin was pressed down really hard. You can see where the pigment leaks, you know, like where lines blur because of where like watercolor paint met the ink. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. It's just so like, it's so human, and it's so just like, oh, these were drawn by hand, right? Like these were drawn like by hand and on paper, and they just have such a like a fun quality to it because of that.
These are watercolors.
They are beautiful watercolors that were made by one guy and are just so like incredibly iconic. So it is really cool to like see them the way they were meant to be seen. I totally get it. Yeah. Like they're gorgeous. They're such great looking scans.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sugimoto is an incredible artist as well, right? Of course. And it's just like, oh.
It is funny just to be like, oh, it's a really interesting artistic choice to like change the color scheme up for the characters. No, they were scanned wrong.
They were scanned wrong. Yeah. And like, I don't know, it was kind of neat.
It was neat. It was
because like, to me, it always felt like they felt like field drawing, because like, you know, they're supposed to be like a Pokemon, you know, like you're cataloging Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And so they felt like field drawings in kind of the weird way they looked. You know, they had to be made like with a limited color palette because you only had X number of, I don't know, markers in your,
right.
You know, like while you're traveling and drawing these Pokemon. So like, I get that. But I do also really like seeing these new versions as well.
Also, I think Pokemon was like kind of like one of the last in the door of like where games were much more of an abstraction than before we had switched, because like Pokemon was 95,
94, 95, something like that.
Yeah. So like this was on the edge of the N64 and the PS1, which is where we kind of started fading away from abstractions in character design. So like Pokemon, like these different color palettes, these different like things kind of fit along with like, well, you can have artists draw these characters different from like their quote unquote canon appearance.
Yeah.
And have it still be official.
Yeah, because everything was so kind of abstract. These little pixels on your screen are just representational, right?
Like it's up to you to think about what they would look like in the real world.
Right.
But no, it's great, and also like Bulbapedia is like, yeah, we're keeping the old artwork.
Yes, they are. Like, there was some confusion at first, and people were very concerned that like they were going to just get rid of the old artwork, but they're like, no, we're hanging on to the old artwork. We're just updating all of our like main pages to use the actual Sugimoto art, like the way it was meant to be seen. But you'll still be able to find the old scans. Like they're not going away. It's
still you know, uploaded in like the, you know, album of each Pokemon.
Yeah.
But no, it is very cool. I would recommend anyone like go and look at these and see like all the details, like you mentioned, like all the missing details that are now visible.
Yeah, just go look at your favorite Pokemon and just like from like Gen 1, of course. And just go like zoom in on their scan and just see like ink bleed and where colors kind of blur together and where he colors out of the lines and little things like that, right? Yeah. Where it's just like, oh, right. And you can literally see like where like a pin tip is pressed really deep into the paper, and it's like, all right.
Uneven line weight, and like even like where one line started and ended, like, because they don't quite meet at the same point.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, oh, right, a person made this with their hands on paper, 30 years ago at this point. How cool is that, right?
It's really cool. Next, on the complete opposite side of the tech spectrum.
Oh.
Square Enix AI tech preview, the Portopia serial murder case announced for PC.
This is so stupid. Did you hear it already? It's basically not working.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So on the exact opposite end of the spectrum of like the beauty of having something being made by hand, right? Like with love and care and like real professional attention to detail. And you can see all the kind of like the warts and all that come with having something made by a person.
Yeah.
You get AI generated horseshit that sucks and is lazy bad.
You get so what this is trying to be is a text game. And text adventure game that is trying to use AI to better predict your actions. So like classic, like move object, look at object, pick up whatever.
Sure. Trying
to use AI to better react to whatever someone types in. Instead of being like, I don't recognize that command. Trying.
That is the key word here. The operative word here is trying and failing. Failing very badly. I saw one Steam review that was just like, I can't get out of the first room because the AI doesn't recognize any of my text inputs, right? And it's like, oh, okay, I see. Wow.
I think...
Never mind then.
I think in theory, this would be a good use of AI predictive programming because you want a game that can react to your inputs like this.
Yeah.
Especially in a text adventure setting where like you don't have any graphics to render, you don't have any, visuals or anything. It's all telling you things. But we are not ready for that.
It is extremely not there yet, my man. No, it's really obviously not working yet. But this is Square Enix, who always take W's and crack them into 2 L's. It's their favorite hobby. Yeah, I saw literally on Twitter the other day, somebody brought up like Nier Automata has sold 7.8 million copies or something like that. Right? And it's like, that's insane for a AA game. Like, that's good that's good sales no matter what.
Right.
And it's like, well, then Square Enix had the team for that make Babylon's Fall, and Yoko Taro is making mobile games? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Why not? So, yeah, like I said, Square Enix never saw a W. They couldn't turn into 2 L's. And this is definitely another case of that, where it's like, oh, no.
Just stick to what you're good at, guys. Make RPGs.
They do. They have like shitty NFT stuff and bad, generative AI crap. And it's like, okay, you could give some of that money to Final Fantasy 14, guys. God knows they need it.
Like at the very least, it's text adventure, which means we aren't getting like 12-fingered anime characters in our game.
Thank
here.
God. But they love to waste their money on stupid shit that sucks. And it's like, what you could do? You could use that money to like, I don't know, put color into Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
With your generous donation of 5 cents a day, you too can add more than just the color brown to Final Fantasy 16. It's a noble cause, people.
If we all work together, we can get Clive a sword that has an engine strapped to it.
God, if only. Imagine a better world is possible.
If you're gonna rip off Devil May Cry in your gameplay, give Clive a gunblade, okay?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. All right.
A better world is possible, but not for me.
He can still be a knight, but his gun should rev up, okay? That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't even have to rev. If it's just like a revolver gunblade, that would be cool too. Right?
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not asking much. I'm just asking for a little bit of color in my Final Fantasy game again. Remember Final Fantasy X? Anyways.
FF10 had really good designs.
FF10 is beautiful. Gorgeous game.
Gorgeous game. Amazing soundtrack.
Fantastic soundtrack.
I need to play it now because I need to remember if I like it or not.
I still don't really like it, but like I like it aesthetically.
It's been so long that I'm like, did I like 10 or was I 12?
You might have just been 12 years old. Yeah, no, I still don't really like 10. Like, it's fine if you do. You're cool. You're valid. Don't worry about it. But like,
did I like 10 too, or did I just think Pain was hot?
You probably just thought. Now, 10-2 is a better battle system. That's for goddamn sure. But like, anyways, we're losing the thread.
Anyway, Square Enix, stop making AI and NFT bullshit. Stop trying to capture on the latest fad and just make RPGs. Come on,
That's correct. That's all I ask.
Next, a TMNT cross Stranger Things comic will explore the dynamic between Eleven and Raphael.
I'm already falling asleep. Why are you giving me this shit? Why are you giving me this? Is where my parents were killed, Raph. Cowabunga. That's all I'm thinking of.
So the thing about these is that the idea behind like a lot of these crossover comics is that they are merchandise-driven franchises that cross over, right? And part of the appeal is it's Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. They both have really cool toys, and we're seeing the toys meet up like we did when we were 6.
Sure,
you know. Stranger Things isn't really exactly.
That's not really what Stranger Things is.
Driven.
I mean, it kind of is merchandise driven, but the merchandise is like graphic tees made by some poor intern, you know?
It's one of those, this is just a weird thing. I don't know why it feels so weird, but because Stranger Things is so set in 80s pop culture, but as someone like, but as it's more targeted towards like the idea of living around all of these cultural things as they were happening, right?
Right.
Like, you're surrounded by posters of the Terminator and Transformers and stuff, and like Alien and whatnot. You aren't in that world, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get to directly cross over with the Thing.
Yeah, no, that's not really how. I'm just tired thinking about it. This sucks. I'm sorry.
Like, are they going to recognize the Ninja Turtles because, like, they know them from the cartoon?
Yeah, is that how that's going to work? Are we going to isekai the Ninja Turtles?
I kind of hope. That would be funny.
Actually, that might be kind of funny. But still. No. Yeah, no, I don't want nobody wants this. Nobody's asking for this.
It's very strange to me, though, that in the course of this news document, we have a Stranger Things cartoon by Flying Bark Studios.
Oh, yeah.
And a TMNT Stranger Things comic crossover.
Yeah. You know, it's weird that Stranger Things is in the news twice today.
Yeah.
It's weird that I guess Netflix kind of can't let that one die because it's their only, like, beloved franchise that they didn't take out back and kill like old Yeller, so they have to keep milking it, right? Oh,
did you see they finally hit the last season of Big Mouth?
Oh yes, thank God we're
finally free.
Thank God. Well, maybe that means they'll start making good anime. No, I'm kidding. They're gonna make more stupid, ugly bullshit. You're so stupid. No. Oh God. Next. How many more of these do we have?
One more. Okay. We are done after this. Horizon Forbidden West sequel in the works alongside multiplayer spin-off. Guerrilla just came out today and said Horizon 3 coming.
Well, yeah, we all kind of knew that one, guys.
They made a teaser at the end of Horizon 2, but like
that was a given though. Like, come on. Like, of course, Horizon's like one of the only things Sony's got. Of course, it's gonna sell like gangbusters on that PlayStation 5. You need something to prove that you should have spent $500 on that thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it sold good. The idea of a Horizon multiplayer only thing kind of makes me really tired. I'm just like,
I don't really care about that.
I don't really care about that. Unless they make, I don't know. I guess I would play like a Horizon like MMO type thing, like
like
Fallout 76.
Yeah, like a 76 Horizon.
I guess I would play that. Now that I think about it more, I'm like, I like that setting enough that I probably would play that. I think that might be kind of fun.
I think, actually, yeah. I mean, that would be a fun hanging around doing stuff.
Gliding around and fighting giant robots with your friends with bows and arrows. It's kind of fun, right? That's kind of a neat idea.
It'd probably be more fun to fight like a giant robot T-Rex than a Schwarzbeast Queen.
Yeah, well, those are miserable. Yeah. I definitely think that the guys at Gorilla can make a better raid boss than the hacks at Bethesda.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think about some of those fights in Horizon. Like, hell yeah, they'd be good at raid fights.
I think they could probably make a better raid boss for sure. That would be fun. I would do that. I would play that with my friend. Mm-hmm. If that's what it ends up being, I probably would give it a shot. And I've now talked myself into it more.
Right.
I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, that sounds like fun. Okay.
I didn't get to play Burning Shores at all. I forgot about that.
I haven't played Burning Shores yet. There's too much coming out. Yeah. Unfortunately, Burning Shores yet again has the problem of a Zelda game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, at least this one has like a month between them.
Oh yeah, no, it's not concurrent by any means, but also it's like I'm not thinking about Horizon. I'm thinking about that Zelda.
Which by the way, let's get the joke out of the way right now. Guerrilla Games announces new Sony production in 2024.
At the same time, they announced Elden Ring 2.
Yeah.
God.
Guerrilla Games announces some other studio's open world crafting hunting game.
Can't believe Elden Ring 2 is already confirmed.
I know.
No, Armored Core. The new Armored Core game is gonna come out at the same time as Horizon 3.
That's gonna kill it. Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. Is they're gonna put out a new Armored Core game, and everyone's going, "Oh, great, that FromSoft game!" And then fucking Gorilla's like, "God damn it, not again!"
How many times?
Every single time without fail.
Every time. Yeah.
Sorry. The playable Ganondorf DLC for Tears of the Kingdom is gonna come out at the same time as
that would
Horizon 3, and just murder that game. It's just a piece of DLC.
My only fear with Burning Shores is, boy, I hope the game doesn't end with Silence being like, "Don't worry, I'll definitely be here for the third one."
Oh, it probably does. It's like, "Yes, Aloy, I can't wait to see you in Horizon 3. And it's like, "Oh, God damn it, no!"
The game, like, Burning Shores ends with Aloy and Silence being like, "It's good to finally work together without having to fear being stabbed in the back. I'm looking forward to being by your side the entire time."
Oh, no! This sucks! Oh, yeah, especially because I know that Burning Shores has a lot of Lance Reddick in it. It's like, oh, okay. Guess I'll die. Yeah, so, unfortunately, but hey, we'll see. Cat, leave me alone. I'm trying to end this podcast episode. Would you leave me be?
I can't wait to go to space in Horizon.
Can't wait to go to space. We're somehow going to get a spaceship in Horizon, for sure. We're going to go to the moon, like in Doom.
Hell yeah.
Or not Doom, excuse me. Wolfenstein, same game.
Yeah. I would love that. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, Aloy in a spacesuit. I'll take it. Get out of here, Cat. Sorry. Anyway,
that is it. That's everything I got today.
We did it.
It was a bit of a long one.
It's long. Yeah, we somehow ended up talking for 2 hours.
I had to get some stuff out.
You really had to get the Spider-Man angst out. I don't blame you, man. I understand. So... I guess we didn't actually mention the slight format change yet again, did we?
Oh, well, yeah, so we tried to do, we failed horribly last year. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. We tried to do 2 news episodes and then a topic episode a month.
Right. Then Final Fantasy 14 happened. Oops.
Yeah. And our schedule has always just been kind of in flux, so we're kind of doing away with scheduling in general. You're still getting 3 a month. Mm-hmm. But they're most likely just going to be, news discussions, what we've been playing and doing and stuff. And then if we have the mood for a fun topic, or if like a big game like Starfield comes out.
Right, like 16 will probably still get one, depending on if we can all get our hands on Tears of the Kingdom. That'll probably get one.
Yeah.
But But like going forward, it's just going to be kind of like mostly just kind of like whenever we want to versus like forcing ourselves to do one every month. Mostly because that shit gets expensive really fast, guys.
Yeah, and also like sometimes months just don't have something both of us are interested in.
That's right. You know, sometimes we both don't want to play the same thing. It's like, well, we'd rather both just do our own thing. So, you know. Yeah. But we will probably do Tears of the Kingdom episode.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Starfield
is getting one for sure.
At least one. Let's be real.
That's maybe more. Starfield month. Starvember.
And then also we definitely won't be doing one for May because I'll be busy.
Yes, Ben is just going to be. So the May is going to be a weird month.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of streaming. Playing Metal Gear Solid.
I announced it on Twitter, but I'll announce it here as well. I will be doing Metal Gear Solid, in which I go through as much Metal Gear within that month as I can. I have never finished a Metal Gear Solid game. My only direct experience, is playing a little bit of 1 and watching an LP of 5. And the rest is all cultural osmosis.
That's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to just sitting in and watching that because I really like Metal Gear Solid. I've played all of them up till 4. So I played 4, I should say. I have played 4, but I've played like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't play 5. I don't know anything about 5. I don't really give a fuck about 5. But yeah, no. So this will be fun to watch Ben play like probably one of the most iconic and insane series the industry has ever produced for the first time ever. So yeah, that's twitch.tv/
The Gorge Podcast.
Okay. I always forget if it's just The Gorge. No, it's twitch.tv/ The Gorge Podcast.
Yep.
So yeah.
So Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 is taking a break until I reach the end of May. The only thing I'm streaming for all of May is Metal Gear Solid.
Maybe we're going to try to do daily, but we'll probably take breaks every now and then because also, I don't know if you know, but Zelda is coming out.
So, as I posted on Twitter, I'm going to try to do every day. I'm probably going to do at least one day off a week just because, like, I'm going to need to recharge my batteries every so often. But, and if I do it during every day, it's not going to be a guaranteed, like, 3-hour stream bonanza.
Right.
Maybe I only get 1 hour in. And also, unlike Kingdom Hearts, I'm not going to wait on you guys to be available.
Sure.
I'm just going to pop that shit in and just go for it. And if you pop in, great. If not, then oh well.
That's right. That's fine.
So, but yeah, look forward to that. That's going to be super exciting. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm excited for you to go through it, especially Metal Gear Solid 2. That's an interesting one. That one's got like a lot of like meat on the bones. 3 does too. I mean, 3 is extremely chunky. But, like, Metal Gear Solid 2 has only become chunkier with time, right?
I know there's some stuff in there.
There's all kinds of fun stuff. That's good. You actually brought up... There's actually a thing... I'm not going to tell you what, because it's going to be funny. But you mentioned something in this episode that made me go in the back of my head. Oh, like Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. So maybe you'll remember this conversation we have in 2 weeks.
All right, well, that'll do it for us. Thank you to DJ Cutman for use of background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. I had a dream recently that we had fan mail constantly, that, like, reading fan mail was a segment on the podcast.
Oh, maybe someday that'll happen.
Make that dream a reality. Send us
just one time. Send us an email, even if it's just telling us hi. We like to hear from people.
I like the idea of answering questions people ask about us, so just go ahead and do that. Follow us or join the Discord.
Yes, join our Discord.
Where we do all kinds of stuff, and we're making it better and worse all the time.
That's correct. We made it good, and then we made it bad, and then we made it good again. It's fine. If you have listened to our streams, if you've listened to the full party episodes we do, you know about Saturn. That's correct. And if you know about Saturn, then you know that it's very important that we gave Saturn full control for the creative side of the Disgorge. Yeah, it's great. We have a cute. But hey, if you're a patron, you get a special colored name. We're eventually going to come up with patron icons. We're still kind of hashing that part out. Mm-hmm. We've got a banner now. If you boost the server, you get a fun little special icon. Like, yeah, we're trying to be more professional, sort of, kind of. Yeah, so join us and get them numbers up. Get us get us more active. And that's right. Get us more stuff with our boost our server more,
Yeah.
so we can do more things that way. Yeah.
And then if you feel like it, patreon.com/thegorge.
That's right.
And then that's it. That'll be it, right? Yeah.
Fuck the north wind and the sun. No, I will not explain myself, but if you have played Umineko Chapter 3, you know what I'm talking about.
I was like, I'm sitting here like, I don't remember talking about Game of Thrones this week.
No, fuck the north wind. Ben, I'm going to tell you a little story real fast before we go. It's not going to make any sense to you, but that's okay. But there's a fable called The North Wind and the Sun that goes, one day there's a traveler, right? And he's walking and he's wearing a cloak. And the north wind and the sun have a bet. They say, I bet I can get the traveler to remove his cloak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the north wind says, I got this on lock. And he blows and he blows. He blows as hard as he can, just batters this poor traveler's body, you know. And he never takes his cloak off. He just hangs on to it as tight as he can, keeps himself bundled up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the sun says, okay, well, I can get him to remove his cloak. And all the sun has to do is come out and shine warm and gentle on the traveler. And eventually his bones warm enough that he has to take off his cloak and let his guard down. And that's how the sun wins. What does that have to do with Umineko?
I don't know.
If you know, you know. Fuck you.
I'm betting it cost someone their life.
It sure made me feel fucking stupid. That's for goddamn sure. Okay. I spent all of today just be like, am I the dumbest person who's ever lived? Am I stupid? Am I stupid? I actually had to go there and ask the rest of the Umineko guys in the Discord. Like, am I stupid? And everyone goes, no, everybody gets caught by that one. And I go, okay. At least we're all stupid together. Which is, in fact, the tagline of the entire Discord. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.